Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 29th. I am sorry that this video is coming late to you. We had a few issues at our house. I think they're all solved. First off, look at my comment. I'm so sad. I made that cute little video and nobody commented on my stimulus purchase. What do you think? Did I get a good deal yesterday? Did you see that video? All right, some quick information. Our testing center is now open. This is very good news, but it comes with a very limited space. Only 6 people will be allowed to test in the morning, and only 6 people will be allowed to test in the afternoon. That's only 12 a day when we used to test probably 30 some a day, maybe even more. So if you think you're ready, we got to get you signed up. First off, if you don't have a myged.com account, you have to do that yourself. I have no control over that. I don't set it up for you or anything. You have to remember your username and password. I have no dealing with that. Go to myged.com, set up an account if you don't already have one. That way that step's already done. The day of the test, you will have to wear a mask. You will have to have your temperature taken. You will have to wear gloves, but I believe at the moment that we will supply the gloves. I believe you supply the mask. I haven't heard definite, but I think that's the way it's going to be. And you have to have a valid state ID. That's either a driver's license or a state ID, or they are willing to take a passport, but they all have to be valid. They have to have a current date on it. Okay, here we go. I want to review this chart because there were some problems with this chart last night in the work. And I should have turned the lights on, and the light switch is very far away, so I hope you can see this. All right. The first question, between which 2 years did the category 2 to 3 hours increase the most? So many of you missed this, and charts are going to be on the GED. They're going to be in reading, they're going to be in social studies, science, and math. They're going to be everywhere. So here's the 2 to 3. In which year did it increase the most? Well, it went from 61 to 62. That's an increase of 1. It went from 62 to 64. That's an increase of 2. So this is more. But then it went from 64 to 77. That's an increase of 13. That's a lot. Then it stayed the same. What years did it increase? Between 1999 and 2001. That's when it increased the most. The other question was, which category showed the greatest decrease in the number of drivers over the 8 years? Decrease means going down. So here we started at 0 and we went all the way up to 15. It didn't decrease, it increased. Here we started at 21 and went to 29. It also increased. We started at 63, it went to 77, increase. 53 to 60, increase. Look at this one. We started with 65 and we went down to 19. That is the only one that decreased. And several, over half of you guys missed those 2 questions. So we got to get good at that. So that was just that little bit of information, a review. And then I want to review this question right here. This was also most missed. You might recognize this. The soccer team lost 6 of their 20 games. What is the ratio of wins to losses? Wins has to be first because it's first in the question. So let's figure this out. They played 20 games. They lost 6. This is games. They lost 6, which leaves them with 14 wins. Everybody get that? There was 20 games. They lost 6. That means they must have won 14. Now, it says wins to losses. So which number goes first? The wins, which is 14. Which number goes next? The ones they lost. So that's the 6. So many of you wrote it the other way. You cannot write it the other way. And then we do need to reduce. They both can be divided by 2. So that was 7 to 3. So many of you wrote 3 to 7. All right. This was also one last review question. You try this. I'll press pause. You press pause. I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay. So 2000. So my formula is principal times rate times time. Principal is 2,000. If you don't know this, go back to the video before. That's where we did this. 3%, but remember we go like this and we make this 0.03. And time, this is why I think most of you missed it. Remember, it's in years. So what is 18 months? Well, it's 1 year and 6 months. So that 6 months is a half of a year, or better yet, 1.5. So that's what I need to do when I do my math. And wouldn't you know, I came up here without a calculator, and I'm sure I don't have I have to do this manually. So I'm going to say 2,000 times 0.03. Move my decimal 1, 2. I get 60. And then I'm going to take 1.5 times 60. I get 9. Move my decimal 1, 1. So the interest paid would be 90. And that's also very important. You have to make sure you're answering the question correctly. Does it want to know the total or just the interest paid? So always read that last question. All right, here we go. New stuff. I put $2,000 down on a boat and paid $300 a month for 3 years. What is the total cost of the boat? Please do that for me, and I will see you back here after you press pause. All right, so I paid $300 a month for 3 years. Well, how many months are in 3 years? Don't say 300 times 3. That's only making one payment a month. I'd love to do that. No, we have to say 3 times 12 because there's 3 years with 12 months. That's 36 months. Now we have to say 300 times 36. That's 10,800. That is not the price of the boat though, because remember at the very beginning I put 2,000 down. That goes towards the cost of the boat. So my total is 12,800. That's how much I paid for the boat. Okay? All right. Percent increase or decrease. This is the formula. Difference in price divided by original times 100. So let's do one of these. Okay, so I'll try to keep that up at the top. Oops, sorry about that. Bouncing everything. All right. I sell jewelry in my store. I used to sell this lovely anklet for $12. Now I sell it for $16.80. What is the percent increase? My price went from $12 to $16.80, so it's increasing. What percent? Look at my formula, difference in price. Well, what's the difference in these two prices? Difference means I subtract. So 16.80 minus 12. That gives me 14.80. Sorry, 4.80. $4.80. That's the difference. So I come over here and I use my formula, difference in price. So the difference between the new price and the old price is $4.80. I divide it by the original price. What was the original price? Which one? 12. So in my calculator, I say $4.80 and I divide by 12. And when I do, I get 0.4. Now I need to turn around and times that by 100, but we know an easier way. I mean, that is correct, but we know an easier way. All we have to do is take this decimal and move it 2 places. So that means I am increasing my price of this lovely anklet by 40%. So difference in price divided by the original price, use your calculator for it, and then move your decimal 2 places. All right, your turn. Here you go. You sell artwork for $100, but apparently you're not very good because no one's buying it. So you drop your price to $80. What percent decrease would this be? Use our formula. Pause it. I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay, so the difference in price was the difference between 100 and 80. When you subtract that, you get 20. Now you have to divide by the original. The original was 100. When you say 20 divided by 100, you get 0.2. And then remember, our formula says times it by 100, but all we have to do is go 1, 2. So the amount you're decreasing your lovely artwork is 20%. All right, this right here is my favorite thing. I always say everything's my favorite, but I swear by this little sentence. Blank percent, blank of, blank is. This is the percent. Of is either the whole amount or the original. This will make sense in a minute. Is the part or the equal. Okay? Now, the only time you're going to divide in a problem is if you know the is. If there's no number here, you don't divide. All right? So we're going to put that off to the side and see what we have here. Here we go. 32% of ALCO graduates have blue eyes. We had 25 graduates. How many blue eyes? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write my blank percent, blank of, blank is. I'm going to fill in what I know. 32%, that obviously goes here. Now the question is, what is the 25? Is it my whole amount of graduates or the part with blue eyes? It's my whole amount, so it goes here. I only divide if there's a number here. Is there a number here? No. So I'm going to multiply. Oh, and remember, we get rid of our percent sign, move our decimal 2 places. So I'm going to say 32.32 times 25. Of course, you can use the calculator, but I forgot to bring mine up. So that's 10, 15, 16, done with that, 0, 4, 6, add it up, 10, 8, is it 800? That doesn't make sense. Oh, I forgot to move my decimal 2, 1, 2. So how many people have blue eyes? 8. Always ask yourself before you get started, should the number be smaller or bigger? Well, in this case, if it's only part of the graduates, we know that we're going to have less than 25. All right, your turn to do one like that. All right, so I'm going to put my blank percent, blank of, blank is up there at the top. You do this one. 27% of the $300 I made goes to taxes. How much went to taxes? Pause and I'll see you back here. Okay, so I hope you did this. 27 goes here. 300, was that all I made or the part that went to taxes? It's the whole amount. I only divide if I know the is. I don't. So I'm going to say 300 times, oops, remember 1, 2, move over. Even when you're using a calculator, you should have said 0.27. Well, I know you used a calculator, so I know the answer is 81, so I'm going to cheat and do it that way. So 81. So $81 went to taxes. If you didn't understand that, go back, look at those problems again. Here's another one. I bought some clothes. I paid 6% sales tax. My tax amount was 18. How much did the clothes cost? Blank percent, blank of, blank is. 6% goes here. How much was the clothes? I don't know, but I know the part that was the taxes, was 18. I need to know how much I spent for clothes. Well, if I know the is, I divide, and the is goes inside. Get rid of the percent sign. Looks like this. If I'm doing it manually, that's the way I would do it. If I was doing it in a calculator, I would say 18 divided by 0.06. The order you do this is very important. 18 divided by 0.06 gives you 300. So the price of my clothes was 300. If I did it here, I would have gone 1, 2, no decimal here, no decimal here, so I go 1, 2. Get rid of that 0. How many times will 6 go into 18? 3. And I need a 0 and a 0. So it'd be $300. All right, your turn. So you bought a phone, you paid 7% sales tax, which has a total of $28, which was a total of $28 in tax. How much was the price of the phone? I'll see you back here after you pause it and work this out. Okay, so I'm hoping you did this first. Get in a habit. 7%. We know that the tax was 28. We want to know this. I go like this. Boy, routine is amazing. I know I'm dividing because I know the is, and I know the is goes inside. So if I'm doing it manually, I would do it this way. If I was doing it in a calculator, I'd say 28 divided by 0.07 in that order. Okay, I move my decimal 1, 2. Can't have there's not a decimal here, there's not a decimal here, so I go 1, 2. Get rid of this. 7 will go into 28 4 times, 0, 0. So I must have paid $400 for the phone. I need a new phone. Okay. All right. New kind. Still in the same family. 30 of our 40 math students have children. What percentage of students have children? Blank percent, blank of, blank is. Okay, 30 of our 40. 30 is the part that have children. 40 is the total amount that goes to ALCO. We don't know the percent. Remember, if I know the is, I divide and the is goes inside. So 30 is going to go here, 40 is going to go here. Or if I have a calculator, I'm going to say 30 divided by 40 in that order. So 40 can't go into 30, so I put a decimal, I add a 0. 40 can go into 300 7 times. That's 280. I subtract, I get 20. I can add another 0. 40 can go into 200 5 times, and I'm zeroed out. Now, 70.75, is that the answer? No, because remember, we have to change this to a percent. We did this in a couple lessons back. We moved 2 places over. So my final answer is 75%. Or in theory, we times it by 100. All right, one for you to do. Oh, hey, before we do it, keyword is McDonald's. Thank heavens they let me steal all their Wi-Fi so I can download these lovely videos. Okay, this one is for you. 20 of the 80 students in reading finished their book in the first week. What percent finished the book in the first week? Please pause it. Please try it. Okay, I have blank percent, blank of, blank is. I don't know my percent. I know that 20 of the 80, 80 would be my total amount of students. That's my of. And is my part that did the reading is 20. If I know my is, I divide and the is goes inside. So it looks like that. Or once again, if you were using a calculator, you'd say 20 divided by 80. Can 80 go into 20? No. So 80 into 200 would go in there 2 times. 80 into 400 would go 5, so I have 0.25. Remember, I need to move my decimal. So my final answer is 25%. That is our lesson for the day. Please, when you're all done, take the quiz, and I will see you back here tomorrow.